Hello and welcome back to the She Gallery Show. Thank you for being with us. Today is the final segment of season 11 and we are here with the dopest guest, the dopest female rapper here in Chicago. We got Ange13. It's such an honor. And we have our next to Ange13's next dopest guest, and that is you guys out here joining us from Chicago and wherever you're at across the globe. We thank you so much for being with us today throughout the season. We've had such an amazing journey celebrating family resemblance, the evolution of Chicago style graffiti. It's been a celebration that we've been promoting for, I don't know, for as long as we can remember, and the exhibit is still going on. The opening exhibit was March 4th. It is still going on through May 7th. That is at the Epiphany Center for the Arts in the Catacombs. And we have a hip-hop jam coming up on April 16th, where we're going to have Ange13 hanging out with us again. Can't wait to get down. And before I forget, and before we get started, because we have so much to talk about, I really want to give thanks to everybody that has helped. All of the Chicago writers, all of the contributors to the movement across the globe, to Empty, Trickster, Pengo, Cam TV, Epiphany, Chicago Loop Alliance, the Latina Expo, our writers, B-Boy B, Drastic, East, Fez, Orco, Pango, Slang, Take Two, Trickster, Warp, our panel our panel monitors, Nick Fury, T-Soul, all of our Can TV guests from across the globe, Scheme, Gear, everybody that's talked to us. Thank you so much for being with us. And it's such an honor. April 16th is going to be our hip-hop jam.
Oh, I can't wait.
Can't wait. We have DJ Jesse De La Peña. We have Sun Surfers, who you have not probably met yet, but you're going to be thrilled. We have Renegades of Funk. We have Ange13. We have DJ Kane, who most of you only know as a graffiti writer. We have Brickhead's crew getting down, and we have you if you're getting ready to rock. You have an MC competition. We do take you to our website now. If you go to our Now section, you can check out our Family Resemblance Jam. You can get tickets here, and you can also enter our competition, our MC competition, Winner Takes Pot. Here we also have a breakdancing competition, and we have a graffiti writing competition that is actually open right now. If you have been paying attention, Pango and all of the guys have been talking about Chicago style graffiti, balance, style, flow. If you think you've got what it takes, it doesn't matter who you are, where you're at. This is Chicago style graffiti. Winners will be announced April 16th, but the competition is open now, and it is alive. We have so much to talk about.
And it sounds like we have a whole lot to talk about.
I know. So we're going to start off with, we sent out a list of gratitude, and many of us throughout all of this journey, we started talking about the hip-hop movement, graffiti writing, and a lot of people talked about Peely Fresh. And then in December, Peely, we got another notice about Peely, and that was that Peely passed away.
Yeah.
And since then, I think I've had a little bit more of an understanding of what an important person Parker Lee was and is to this movement and forevermore. And we look forward to hearing you talk more about Peely.
Okay.
And we're just going to take the audience to this quick segment here, or to this quick video. We have Orco, who many of you remember from our roster at Peely's funeral.
Because I got to apologize to him because this dude gave me so many opportunities and I dissed him. I was like, what T-shirts? I don't know what you're talking about. He said, so you don't know who this is, huh? I looked, Parker, he said, Orc, it's me. And we sat at this wall with all of our legendary friends. And Zeb put it together. And Steph, you become just like an amazing person. The only person that can really understand what I'm talking about right now is the only girl that we let be around us, Ange13. It was always Ange13, Akbar, Stain. She right there. There she go. That was the only girl we would let hang with us. Ange13, ladies and gentlemen. And I'm going to say this before I get out of here. I'm going to say one more thing before I get out of here. I'm going to tell you a secret. Ange is not a rapper. Ange is the only graffiti writer that we let hang with us in the 80s. She's a writer. So when she approached her lyrics, when she approached her shows, she was the only beat girl with us. That's her. So when I seen the last picture that we took.
We took the last picture together, all
said,
three of us.
What are y'all doing on the south side? So he has a whole family over there. So when I found out about the news, I found out from the family, and I just couldn't believe it. But like I said, I apologize that I got to get back, and my ride is outside.
Gotta love Orc, man.
Man.
But he said it. Ange, why don't you talk to us about who Ange 13 is and how Ange 13 became Ange 13?
Man, Ange 13 was Angela Zone before anybody else. That's my real name, my government. And it was actually growing up in Rogers Park where all the hip hop was fresh and new. Every single thing was fresh because everybody in our neighborhood, they were breakers, there were graffiti writers, there were DJs, there were MCs. We had the whole gamut. Everybody starting in the baby steps of things, just the baby steps. And I, at that time, had a mouth on me, so my mother would say, and I was always on punishment, always. And one Saturday, I was on punishment, and I'm going to tell you this story. And I'm going to tell you the story and not put dates on it because I'm going to let the story date itself.
Oh, so and you know that was going to be my next question. What date was that?
It was back in the day. So, back in the day, when I was on punishment, one Saturday, my mom said, all right, I'm going to work. Clean my house, don't let nobody in, don't turn on the TV, I'll be back after work. I'm like, okay, Ma, bye. Soon as she, leave the house, I'm turning the TV on. You don't tell me what to do when you ain't here. I'm thinking to myself, and I was 11 years old. And as I was cleaning up the house, I was like, okay, ooh, Soul Train is getting ready to come on. See how I'm dating myself without saying something? Soul Train is getting ready to come on. And so I turned on the Soul Train, but it wasn't Soul Train. It was Graffiti Rock. The first and only episode of Graffiti Rock. Graffiti Rock was a new hip-hop show where they had one episode, and it was showing breakers, DJs, MCs, graffiti. It was magnificent. And I'm saying to myself, oh my God, who can I call to watch this? It was Saturday, everybody was outside, so I'm just like, oh, this is dope. And I mean, the host was dope, the kids dancing, the fashion, everything that was going on in my neighborhood. Baby steps in hip hop. And they had a musical guest. It was this group of rappers, and I watched them, and I was like, ugh. These dudes suck. This is terrible. That was the wackest part of the whole thing. The show was dope. It was just, it was breathtaking. And when my sister got home, I told her about it. She didn't care. My mom got home. She was like, "Why you had the TV on?" And I'm just happy that I seen this show. And so the following weekend, I'm on punishment again as usual because of my mouth. My mom said the same thing. I'm going to work. Don't turn on TV. Don't let nobody in my house. Clean my house. And I'll be back at 6. Okay, bye, Mom. So I'm back at turning the TV on. You're not going to tell me what to do. It's Saturday. Nobody's here. So this time when I was cleaning up the house, I have the music playing when cleaning up the house. But this time I said, let's see if that show's back on. So I turned it to Channel WGN, Channel 9, and it was Soul Train, but I was like, I don't like who the guests are. So I turned it to American Bandstand. Do you know what that is? No, you don't. Because American Bandstand was the white part of Soul Train. American Bandstand was on, it's older than Soul Train, but it was the white version of Soul Train. Oh, and their musical act was these same dudes that I saw on Graffiti Rock. The name of the show was Graffiti Rock. The same dudes. And I was like, ugh, who keeps booking these dudes? I hate them. And I said, man, I know I could. And I got up and I went to my room, got a piece of paper and a pen, and I wrote my first rhyme.
So,
guess who that group was that was on Graffiti Rock and American Bandstand? It was Run DMC.
Oh, wow.
I hated Run DMC. I hated Run DMC with a passion because I thought they were terrible when I first saw them.
Wow.
bogus. I just did not like him. And so the following Saturday, I got a flyer through school that there was this hip hop jam that was being held at this place called Steps on Sheridan Road, at this place called this Granada building. But it was the second level of the Granada building where the club was, because the building was like 16 stories up. And there was going to be a rap battle between the best guy in our neighborhood. His name was Devon. His name was Lawrence White. Still a really, really good guy to this day. And the other person was Stain Akbar, as we all know him today. And so this was a teen party. A teen party. Remember, I'm 11. And I'm on punishment.
You preteen?
Yeah. I was going to that party.
11 is
I
no
was going
teen,
to
huh?
that party because I knew the whole entire neighborhood was going to be there. The whole neighborhood. So I go outside and I get to the club and I had to talk my way in at 11 years old to get into this teen party.
And we know that you have a mouth on you.
Man. Steps was the
Rebel.
name of the place that this party was at. And Steps had this long staircase of stairs that led up to the actual event. So I finagled my way past the guy at the door and I walked up the steps, and when I opened the door, you know how you see some movies where everything is black and white and you get to a certain part where it's nothing with color? That's exactly what was going on. I opened the door and it was like boom, da-dum, dum, da-dum, dum. And I was like, oh my God, everything I just saw on TV is in my face. Oh my God, I can't take it. There was graffiti writers over here with black books. There was breakers on the floor. There was MCs over there in the cypher. There were fly honeys on the side, which were my girlfriends. I was like, they was like, oh, you got out? I was like, yeah, I told you I was coming. And so the MC battle went on. I mean, I felt like I was in a time warp. I was home. Everything felt right. So this battle was going on between Stain and Devon, and they were going at it. And it was hours. It seemed like hours. And so they decided we're going to do an intermission because it was getting too heated because nobody could really decide who was the better MC. And so I said to my friends, I'm finna get on that mic. And they was like, no, you ain't. And you might as well have said, I triple dog dare you. Because I was like, oh, I'm not. So I went right over to the DJ booth and I stood in the doorway. And Peely Fresh was DJing the party. Get down. And he looked over and he saw me. And if you could imagine, I had these big public aid glasses on because I had to wear glasses as a shorty. I had this red sweater, this little hat, this short black hair, just looking extra goofy. And he saw me, he's like, what's up? And I said, since y'all having an intermission, you think I can grab the mic?
That's
he
so
said,
cute.
no, now get the F out of here. I looked at him like, what? This is not how you make friends. This is not how you make friends. And then I just stood there. I wasn't going to move. And Akbar, Stain, came behind me. He was like, yo, what's up? Well, what's the purpose? What's going on? You know, in his New York accent. Oh. And he was like, what's going on? And I said, I'm trying to grab a mic, but your boy won't let me do it. And he looked at me for about 20 seconds. He just looked at me.
He gave you the mic?
He said to Parker, yo, man, I hear she can't rap. Go ahead and let her get the mic. He didn't hear I could rap. I was 11 years old. How did he hear I could rap? I was 11. And Parker was like, all right, man. So he was cutting the record. And he said to me, when I drop this record, when I drop this beat, you better start rapping. So I said to him, when you drop that beat, you better duck. And he started scratching me even harder. And guess what song he let go?
What song?
Run DMC, live at the Funhouse. Here we go. If you know this song, you know this track was banging. So I'm telling you, I remember the verse like it was yesterday. So when he did that, he cut it in. It was jibber jibber. And I said, one Tweedledee. And everybody in the party stood still. And he cut again, jibber jibber, two Tweedledum. And everybody in the party turned around for the DJ booth. And when he's jibber jibber, I said, get ready, homeboys, cause here I come. Everybody ran to the DJ booth. clapped onto the DJ booth and started banging the glass. Man, I'm telling you, I know the whole rap. 1 Tweedledee, 2 Tweedledum. Get ready, homeboys, cause here I come with the beat that's unique. The sound that is ice, guaranteed to rock the party and still the night. I throw a beat in your face, you might try to block. And just chillin', only willin', dominating the lot. I'm 11 years old doing that rhyme. 11. And people were losing their minds. I was losing my mind.
Dude.
Thought I was so cold, I even started beatboxing. Ooh, that was me.
You were
I was big dude. I went in because I was like, man, I'm finna do it because he said no to me. That was the first man who ever told me no, and I took no for an answer.
Woo!
And I didn't take no for an answer. I'm sorry, I did not take no for an answer. So after I stopped rapping, that battle was over that they were having because this 11-year-old girl came and turned the party out.
Love it.
And as we were leaving this party, all I was getting was, it was dope, you was fresh. As I'm walking down those long steps, you was dope, you was fresh, you was dope, you was fresh. I get down to the bottom of the stairs, guess who's there?
Who's there?
My mother, because I was on punishment, remember? I wasn't supposed to leave the house. But I wasn't finna miss that battle of that party, boy. I tell you,
God.
my sister was standing there because she dimed me out because I was wondering, how did she know where I was? So as we're walking back home, I know I'm about to get beat down. But I didn't feel a single lick from that belt. You know why?
You were so happy.
Because I got all that love from everybody when I grabbed the mic, and I've been chasing that love ever since.
That's love. That's real love. That's hip hop.
Yeah.
That's hip hop.
Yes.
When we're talking about hip hop, everybody's been like, well, how do you define hip hop? How do you define hip hop? And it's been such like an outcast movement, right? But I think that every single element that hip hop follows does that. It moves you. It makes you really happy. And it seems like every single part of it seems like it's like something you're not supposed to do. You're not supposed to do this. You're not supposed to do that. But it moves you, and it's so natural, and it's so organic, and it's something that cannot be controlled. It's something very unique.
It is.
And it's something that really truly brings unity. And earlier Ange and I were talking, and I'm like, man, the more I'm like learning and hearing more about hip hop and what people that are following the music aspect of hip hop, I'm learning that there's not really a lot of like unity. You know, she's like, there's no unity. I'm like, no, there's not. And that like wows me. It seems like everybody's doing their own thing. And we're talking about Wu-Tang. We're talking about RZA. We're talking about Wu-Tang, who many of you may know. And this is like a clan of rappers. Each of them were trying to do their own thing individually. And as individuals, that didn't work. But when RZA came together and brought them all together, they were a mass. And you just, like, I mean, you just can't control that. It's unbelievable. And then you were talking about...
Ill State was the same type of movement. When I got older, I was also a graffiti writer. When I couldn't be an MC because my mom said, you can rap, but your grades got to be up to par in order to do it. And when my grades would slip, she was like, no, you can't get on the mic. So I became a graffiti writer. And I did. I became a graffiti writer.
Mama, I'm just gonna write on the walls.
And she didn't say no to that. She was just like, okay, go ahead. Like, you know, she wanted me to get called so that she wouldn't take care of me no more. But no, that's not what happened. I became a graffiti writer, and it was a whole different set of people that I met. I met other graffiti writers from the north side, south side, east side, west side. They would have these really huge writers meetings. In Chinatown, where I think it's Ping Tong Park is what it's called now. But back then, it was the Wall of Fame.
The Wall of Fame.
And I mean, everybody from all over met down there. And our mission at those meetings was to discuss how we were going to destroy this city with graffiti. We didn't know each other from a can of paper. We all had that one commonality, and that was graffiti. So we got together in big groups and masses and murdered. In the 80s, the late 80s to the 90s, the CTA was murdered with graffiti. We had battles, the North against the South, these big wars, North Side Riders against South Side Riders. We had West Side Riders going in. I mean, it was incredible. And with the people that I met doing graffiti, there were also meetings that they would have, or all city hip hop meetings, and they were called Shy Rock meetings. And that's how I met a lot of the people that were in the group Ill State. It was Kingdom Rock, Chainsaw, Riot One, Prodigy, EQ, Mad Billa, Rap-A-Lot. We all were hanging around each other and going to the same parties. And one day, we decided, man, we're always together. We need to form a group. Because we got so many skills in this group. And then back in the day, you had to have skills too. You couldn't just be somebody's girlfriend and think you was going to be down. It just didn't. You had to show and prove. It was show and prove all the time. So if you ever hear that people aren't showing and proving in your crew, then you may want to reevaluate your crew members on the real. Because, if you ain't coming with skills, what are you coming for? And I remember the day it was 4 weeks ago, and they're going to deny it. I'm pretty sure Kingdom Rock will deny it. We needed to come up with a name of a group. We just started throwing around names, and I was like, what about Ill State? We're all from Illinois, and this is the state we live in, and the room got quiet. And then somebody said, but we got to be tough. We can let's call ourselves the Assassins. I said, let's call ourselves the Ill State Assassins. And then the room got quiet again. And that was the beginning of the Ill State Assassins. They don't want to admit it, but I'm the one who kicked it off. Yes, I did it.
And she's here to say it.
Right, and it was a group of men. I was the only girl in the group, and it was all guys, and everybody had some type of skill. Like I said, you couldn't be in the group if you weren't getting down in some capacity in hip hop, and we were all doing things individually at one point, but when we got together, we were a movement.
Beautiful.
And I think we sparked other movements in Chicago, and that I think is what's missing in the S.H.E, that there's so much individuality that we're not doing things in a group stance, but hip hop is a group effort. It really is a group effort. If you want it to be successful, it's a group effort. It's not a solo endeavor.
Beautiful. Thank you for sharing that and
You're
those
welcome.
stories. And this is evolution. Again, we're celebrating the evolution of Chicago-style graffiti, as well as all of the movements and hearing these stories. It's really, really special. And you mentioned something about how you guys were forming these crews. And again, we're talking about families, streets that become families, really taking care of each other. We're going back again to people that are rapping. You're really speaking lyrics about living, right? About
Yes.
being in the streets, about what it's like to survive on the streets. And how as friends, as children, you really take care of each other. And that's something that's really special. So we're going to share a little bit of this. This is an album that's dropping today.
This is called 1098.
Congratulations.
Thank you very well. Thank you very much.
Bodies who sporting caution tapes up. X-Men graffiti crew, a force of nature. Every element relevant, of course we major. And dominant on continents as large as Asia. The watchdom get warm and fuck up your form. Sacrifice your firstborn, it ain't out of the norm. She is getting low like a shadow coming up from the rear. Ain't an army to harm me, I'm geared transparently clear. Brother, I hover above you, I'm so chandelier. Hanging bang with the best of them and not no fear. Manipulate environmentals. I am essential, I am a temple of a goddess. Rock instrumentals the hardest. Regardless of tits and coaches. Puts and boots, spit scripts and boots, linking what I pencil's true. Linking, I'm gone. Ring the alarm alert.
I mean, just so much more, so much more. I know. We only got a few more minutes left, so we can't hear everything.
Well, yes, that album actually dropped today
so
on
much to talk about.
Bandcamp. It is exclusively on Bandcamp, and I'm doing a series called the Lost Files series. I found a...
Wait, hold on, because we only got a few minutes and we got a lot more to talk about. Aside from a musician, so we're talking about people in the streets that maybe some people look down upon. We're talking about how many people look at vandals. People are looking at me like, Dulce, why are you promoting this? It's vandalism, and you know how much money it costs to paint or to clean off the streets. But S.H.E made a really good comment during his interview, and he said, we are taxpayers. I'd rather pay for kids to elevate their wisdom and unite than for politicians or people to be crooked and clean up their mess and their debts. I'd rather do that. We're talking about public spaces, and we're talking about people that have started this movement of taking it so far and giving back. You went to Africa, the mother of the motherlands. Talk to us about all the beautiful things you've done for the woman, for the community, and all the just go on, girl.
In Africa,
we only got like 5 minutes, and you got
Africa,
so
I was
much.
in charge of the art portion of things. Mina was in charge of the MC portion, and along with Chris with the production portion. And I was one who was allowing kids to express themselves with just artwork. I mean, and there was definitely a language barrier. But when you have certain things, when you present certain tools to people, pens and markers and paper. That is all really the language you really need to speak with people. You can understand each other. Yes, you can understand each other. And I just am so thankful that I was around a bunch of graffiti writers, because I don't think that I would have been able to go to Africa and be as effective if I didn't know that aspect of the game. Art is very important. I wish they wouldn't take art out of schools, because art sparks the imagination. And we had really young kids that were so thankful that we were there, just giving them the opportunity to express themselves, because these were kids who lived in villages and in areas that were not populated with big buildings and pools and streets and cars. We went to Africa, y'all. Africa, West Africa. So we were looking at trees where the leaves were as big as this table, because the tree had never been manipulated by man. It was in its original form from when everything happened. So thank God for hip hop, because it got me all the way back home. All the way back home. You know what I'm saying? You never know what hip hop can take you in. It took me around the world. It took a little black girl from the south side of Chicago all the way back to the motherland. I praise everyone who puts or has interest in the hip hop culture, because it's not just a bunch of vandals getting together. It's a bunch of idealists making the world a better place.
Beautiful. And I do think that there is some divinity behind it. In talking with Trickster, we're like, talking about all of the different things that writing has brought on. He's like, writing is also divine. And, I study saints, and I'm studying Saint Teresa, and, that is what comes. You're writing, you're free writing, your own thoughts. You don't really realize where they're coming from. But you know that we're all together and connected, and that is one love. That is one love. And that is a beat to follow.
It is.
I'm studying with the Illinois Humanities right now, the Odyssey Project, and I'm studying U.S. history, but we're studying African American history, and this was the way that people were meant to live, in unity, in communities, not away from each other, not isolated, not keeping ideas to themselves,
right,
not trying to be gatekeepers. We're never going to grow that way. We have to unite, share, give, love, and succeed.
And all those words are nothing but positivity, so how could you go wrong? How could you go wrong?
Love, love. Why don't you leave us with a little flow?
I can do that, because I'm going to rap till my lungs collapse, till the culture gets its essence back, till my hair turns gray. Even then, I'm going to dye it black. See, I'm a last of a dying pack. Believe me, see, we don't give a F where your mind is at. In the back of your skull, I'm residing that. All those cracks to your skull, I'm providing that. And if it's dull, I'ma shine it back. So let's face it, test, I'ma ace it. Breath won't waste it. Breeze with the ease of a stench of a basement soldier. The Folger, just a little older. Flew in front of shot 13 times colder. Till I'm flat and I'm dusty black. I'ma give you what I got when I'm busting back. If might, no, maybe no discussing that. And if it's negative, we're hushing that. Believe me, best be easy. Me and my man gets greasy with need be. Sleeves like a bust down, handing out freebies. New to the game frame, looking like a preemie, baby. No. Slick at the jaw, quick on the balls, quicker with the sugar bigger than all of y'all. Got all the gall, thick chick bringing the balls, get her done in one phone call. Filling up an assembly hall, lay my feet on them like a soccer ball, then I beat on them when it's time to brawl. Lay this heat on them when I drop like fall. For the rest of my, just the best of I, 6 feet below for show. You're resting, guy, willing to testify, chest pressed to the sky. For the rest of my life, for the rest of my life. It's like that.
Beautiful. Thank you, Lunch 13.
You're welcome. And thank you.
Woo! We'll see you April 16th, and we'll see you again in July. Thank you, guys.
We'll be there
Love.
too.
Bye.